I like to start with my brows, and for that I'm going to be using my favorite eyebrow pencil. This is the Precisely My Brow from Benefit in the shade 4.5. Using the spoolie, I'm going to brush my brow hair downwards so I can clearly see on top and fill that up. And then using the spoolie, I'm going to brush my brow hair upwards so I can fill in the lower part of my brows. And now to clean up under the brows, I'm going to be using the Milani concealer. I'm in the shade 145. This is again a holy grail product. You would have seen me use it pretty much in every tutorial of mine. This doesn't crease and it suits my skin very well. So I'm going to be using it to clean up underneath the brows as well as on my lids as a primer. That'll also help to cancel out some of that uneven skin tone around the eyes. I'm going to be using the Ace Beauty Scarlet Dusk palette. Such a beautiful palette and so pigmented. I'm starting with the shade Sangria to define my crease, and the brush that I'm using is a small blender brush from ColourPop. So I'm going to use it to carve out my outer corner and the crease by just placing the eyeshadow there, and I'm going to slowly buff out the corners just to soften it. To further soften the edges, I'm going to be using Bahamas with the same brush. I'm going to buff out the edges and soften it till it kind of melts into my skin and looks very soft and fluffy. To deepen the outer corner further, with the same brush, I'm going to be using some black eyeshadow. The one that I'm using is from Maybelline. You can use any black eyeshadow that you have. I'm only going to place it in the outer corner and bring it to my outer crease and buff out the edges so it blends into my transition shade. Now it's time to work on that half cut crease, and for that I'm going to be using the Milani concealer to first mark the area where I want to place the crease using a small concealer brush by ColourPop. Because I like to work with a clean canvas, I'm going to clean up my lid space with the micellar cleansing water using a Q-tip. And I'm going to fill in that lid space with the same concealer. In the very outer edge of the concealer, I'm going to use my finger to buff it out. So when I use other eyeshadows, it's easier to blend them in. I'm going to immediately set this concealer with Aruba using a flat shader brush from ColourPop. It's best to use metallics as well as shimmers when your concealer is still tacky, so it adheres very well to the concealer. I'm also going to use Aruba to highlight my brow bones. To balance out everything, I'm going to connect the black eyeshadow with the shimmer using Sangria, and the brush that I'm using is a flat small shader brush by Coastal Scents. Now is my favorite part of using glitter, and I'm going to be using this beautiful palette by HipDot with a small flat shader brush. I'm going to use it right in the center of my lid and slowly trickle it down as it moves to the inner corner. Absolutely loving how that looks. Now let's move on to the lower lash line. I'm going to first smoke out Sangria, and I'm going to leave a small gap in the inner corner to highlight it. In the inner corner, I'm going to be using Aruba. For eyeliner, I'm going to be using the Ofra Gel Liner in black, first in my waterline and then in my lash line. And then to thicken my lower lash line, I'm going to be using the black eyeshadow again. I'm going to use it with this flat definer brush by HipDot. I'm just going to stamp it right underneath my waterline. I'm going to finish up with some mascara and lashes. Make sure to curl your lashes before you apply the mascara. The mascara that I'm using is from Ofra. This is the HD Volumizing Mascara. And for lashes, I'm going to be using the Tati Lashes in TL10. And here's the completed look. You can either pair this with a beautiful berry lip, or if you want to go simple, a nude lip, or if you want that nice contrast, a red lip. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon with a brand new one. Bye guys.